Hey gang, do you find yourself listening to your music on one app and then listening to your podcast on another app? If you do, stop this insane behavior right now and download Spotify. Spotify is home to all of your favorite music and all of your favorite podcasts. Podcasts including Fly on the Wall, the Saturday Night Live podcast with Dana Carvey and David Spade, the Rock on Tours podcast with Gary Kemp and Guy Pratt, old favorites like Fresh Air, My Favorite Murder, Wait, Don't Tell Me. Look, if you're looking for a news podcast or sports or entertainment or true crime, look, if you're looking for a sewing podcast or an RV podcast, Spotify has all of this for you. That's Spotify. All of your favorite music and all of your favorite podcasts in one place. Find it in your app store and start listening today. That's Spotify, music and podcasts. Let's get down. Hey gang, it's Johnny. I just want to take a second to talk to you guys about engagement. Right now you're listening to the show and I'm not sure exactly what platform you're listening to it on. But whatever platform you're listening to it on, you can subscribe to it and get an alert every time a new show drops, usually every Tuesday and every Friday. New shows every Tuesday and every Friday. Whatever platform you're listening on, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Overcast, Stitcher, any platform, you can subscribe to it. And if you can leave a comment, leave a star, share it on your social media if it's something that you like, please do that. We encourage you to do that. And also, as far as social media goes, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Johnny Gowdy on Instagram and Twitter. Give us a follow. Also, you can like our Facebook page. How did I get here? Please do. Anyway, all I want to say is, you like a show, share it, use the hashtag How Did I Get Here Pod. We'll give you a shout out. Thank you so much for listening to the show and engage.
And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
It's time for How Did I Get Here? And now here is your host,
All right, hello, I'm Johnny. I'm your host. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys have all had a good week so far. You kicked off your new year right? Huh? Are you doing your thing? Did you make resolutions is the question. Now, this comes out on January 6th, Friday, January 6th. Have you made it all 6 days? Stick into those resolutions. That's the big question. Have I? No, I said this year I'm switching it around. I'm easing into my resolution. See what I'm saying? I'm not gonna peak too early. You know, I'm not gonna peak by like the 10th. I'm like off my diet. I'm not exercising. Me, I'm barely exercising at the beginning of the year. Still eating a little wrong. But hopefully by the 10th or 11th, I'll be in a zone that I can be proud of. See what I'm saying? I'm easing into it. I'm not just jumping in and peaking too soon and then falling out of it. That's what I'm trying to do. I was supposed to be playing a gig tonight with Skyrocket in Houston, but that gig got canceled or delayed or moved or postponed. They had a family emergency. We were actually rehearsing on Wednesday, in the middle of rehearsal, and working on some songs for the show. Very excited about it. Some special requests. And then all of a sudden the message came through while we were rehearsing the most important song of the thing. And it was weird. And everyone was like, oh, well, now we don't have a gig this week. Man, it's so weird, man. It seems like over the last year, it's just been like weird cancellations and like all this stuff. I guess maybe it does have something to do with COVID. Maybe it's still going on. I saw that there's a new variant. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. It's just, I'm either going to laugh or I'm going to cry. You know, this is my business, baby. My business revolves around a lot of people getting in one room together and me and my band entertaining them. So this has got to become safe again so that we can do this. I don't want to be singing to my phone in my studio. I mean, I'll do it. Actually, do you guys still watch the live streams? I see some people are still doing live streams. I was thinking maybe I should jump back on the live stream business. Have you guys been following the Speaker of the House thing? Sorry, not to get political out of the blue, but it is pretty insane. You know what I kind of think of it as? And I know this sounds weird because it is coming from like the Freedom Caucus that's holding up the thing. I'm doing this on Thursday. By this time, there have been 6 votes. Nobody's been elected Speaker of the House. That's weird. Hasn't happened in 100 years. You've heard all that stuff. But it's being held up mostly by this Freedom Caucus. Okay. Freedom Caucus is these new young far right people that are big Trump supporters, election deniers. Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, they're all part of this movement. They're saying that it's an altruistic move and all this stuff. I don't really believe that. I mean, you might believe that, and I'm not challenging you and saying it's wrong. But I will say this, okay? And I think that we can all agree on this. This is the Trump chemtrail. You know what I mean? He went through real fast. He went through 4 years. Boom, he's in. He's gone. But now he made it okay for people to use chaos as a strategy to get their way. Chaos as a strategy to get their way. Now, you might disagree with that, and that's fine. I'm not saying that you're stupid or you're doing this or you're that. I just feel like that's opened the door for certain people to go ahead and use chaos as a strategy to get their way. And that's what I think, that's what I feel is going on right now. I saw an interview with Lauren Boebert, and there were some things that she said that seemed very logical, but at the same time, I don't think this movement is truly altruistic. I believe that they are people that want to get their way and realize that they can throw some kind of insane fit, stop the whole machine from moving to get their way. I hope it doesn't work on that level for them. Yeah, that's right. You know, and a lot of you are sitting there going like, oh man, I know, this is driving me nuts. I think I'm going to move to Canada. I mean, I don't want to move from the United States. I love the United States. I love United States. My family come from Cuba, moved to United States. So that's even why I'm here. So I love the United States. I'm not saying it's wrong, but some people do want to move to Canada, which is my segue into, gang, I have a great show for you guys today. That's right. It is a band from Canada. They're called Villages. They're a Celtic Canadian folk band. That's right. They are from Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia, Canada. I speak to cousins Matt and Travis Ellis from the band Villages. Their brand new album, Dark Island, it drops on February 17th. But their first single, Love Will Live On, which you'll hear in a little bit on the show, is available now wherever it is that you stream and download music. This album is fantastic. You know, they play Celtic music that respects their heritage while still taking chances and moving things into a new direction. I got vibes of like Teenage Fan Club, Belle and Sebastian, this kind of thing. They definitely don't sound American. You know what I mean? Anyway, I have a great conversation with Matt and Travis. They're really entertaining guys, very sweet dudes. You can find these guys at thebandvillages.com. Thebandvillages.com. Their album, Dark Island, comes out February 17th on Sonic Records. It was produced by Juno-winning composer Joshua Van Tassel. Fantastic conversation with these dudes. Really, really sweet dudes. Of course, Canadian people are known for their niceness. These guys live up to that sort of expectation. So without further ado, from the Canadian folk band Villages, this is Matt and Travis Ellis. Let's get down.
It calls out to me now. Through the fog somehow. I'm too poor to be buying this round. There's gotta be another way. Say there's nobody but you.
I just pushed record, so keep your political opinions to yourself. I'm just joking. You guys, how do you say the name of the island you're on?
Cape Breton Island.
Breton. Okay, I didn't know if it was a long E or eh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Travis, what do you do in the band?
Play guitar and bass synth and write. Like, we all write together.
Okay. Matt, you sing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a great voice. I got to tell you, like, I got your, I get stuff from the publicist, right? And then I usually have like one day a week where I listen to it all. And I have all these different ways of listening to stuff because if I focus too hard on it, I'm not going to like it. And if I'm in a bad mood, I don't listen to it because I'm going to hate everything. So I just kind of put it on while I'm doing shit around my house. And if it catches me, Then I come back and I go, who is this? And so, man, your record, you guys are really, you're taking, I mean, it's all in your bios and shit, but when you're just listening to you are really unique. Like, there is so much coming into these songs that are based in like a folk music, but then you take them all these different directions. Like, how does everybody bring some kind of flavor to the songwriting process?
For sure.
Go ahead, Matt. Can you expound on that?
That's my answer. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I don't know. Probably Trav. It seems like you were leaning back to lean in.
No. You go.
Oh man. Yeah. I'll take this. And I don't know, man. I guess it's just we all obviously have similar musical interests, but also different, and like the different things are what makes it interesting. I think, like if a song is written with like big, like say like British Isle folk inspiration, you can take that, and then other people in the band will be like, well, what if we like kind of attacked it this way with like say like an indie rock approach or something.
Yeah, like we kind of started performing like when we were kids. Like three of us are cousins, and the fourth guy, Archie, is like a longtime friend, and we kind of started. We were mostly inspired by indie rock, and we played in a band called Mardine for a long time, and that was very indie rock focused. But then, so like we're from this island called Cape Breton Island, which is like very, very. It's like a Celtic hub. Like you'd think like Scotland or Ireland would be like one of the main places for that Celtic music comes out of, but it's actually this very small island above Nova Scotia where it's really happening, and we kind of avoided that style. It's like everywhere we go is fiddle music, and we kind of avoided that growing up. And then when we moved away from Cape Breton, we kind of got a better perspective on where we came from. And so I think we're kind of bringing all these influences, that range from like indie rock to British folk to Celtic music.
When you say indie rock, what were the bands like?
We were definitely influenced by we moved to Halifax because that was like, we were very influenced by like bands like Sloan and Thrush Hermit and the Super Friends, which was like in the 90s, it was called like, the Canadian Seattle basically. So we were like definitely inspired by those bands. And then, there's also like, the Strokes were a big one for us, Interpol. I think you're from Austin, so like Spoon is even like a big influence.
Yeah.
Starting out for sure. Yeah.
There's when you guys were talking about, sorry, I forgot to turn off my air conditioner, so I have to keep on muting myself so I don't have a horrible like sound. Will you give me 1 second to turn it off?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, make fun of me while I'm gone.
That was a great answer, Trav. I was just before this started. Johnny was like, "Should we wait for Trav?" Because we were chatting.
I was ready.
Yes.
I was ready to leave you in the dust, man.
Because my answers would be like, yes, no, yes.
Well, okay. So when you said you moved from Cape Breton, where'd you move to?
To Halifax.
Okay.
Which is like, it's like the city, and it's like the big city in Nova Scotia. With Nova Scotia is like for American listeners, it's like the furthest east you can go in Canada, without going to Newfoundland.
Yeah. So all right. So let me ask you this, because this is something I was thinking about when I was making my coffee about you guys. Are you planning a sort of an American campaign, for lack of a better word? Because you hired a publicist, you're coming into American podcast people. Are you planning on coming down?
Yeah, would love to. We'd love to bring it down to the States. We haven't had that opportunity yet, unfortunately. We got to play Kansas City back in back in May, like a little showcase there. But yeah, we had definitely like to come down and
For what?
show you what it's all about.
What was the showcase for?
It was like it's called Folk Alliance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They do it here too, I think. Don't they?
Oh, do they?
I don't know. It was a smaller
Maybe.
version of it because I spoke on a panel.
They might.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Maybe they might do like a little thing at South by or something.
No, it was its own thing, its own standalone
Oh, was it?
weekend
Oh,
or
cool.
something. It
Okay.
wasn't as big as that big Folk Alliance. Do you guys?
Okay.
What year was that you played?
Just it was just earlier this year in May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet people were blown away by what you guys are doing. Am I wrong? Are there like a bunch of people doing what you guys are doing, and I just heard you guys? And
No, I don't think. Yeah, if I don't think anyone's really doing what we're doing right now. Not to toot our own horn, but it's kind of an original thing.
no, it is.
It's
I
a
mean,
double-
there was a song, I can't remember the name of it, but and the record doesn't come out till February. So
right.
so it's kind of pointless to talk about songs people can't hear, but there is a song on there that like Matt, you're singing and you've got a real, there's a like almost like a Middle Eastern sort of like
Yeah.
shit to what is that a characteristic of Celtic music?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's in Spanish music because the Moors invaded Spain, or you know what I mean? Like there's all these different things. Like, so why is it in Celtic music? Did the Moors head up to Ireland or some shit?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know if there's like it stems from like Greek music, maybe, or like I don't know if like maybe there's like a Roman influence that that went into the British Isles or what.
It's so interesting because what you're doing is steeped in a tradition. But what I was going to say is that the other element in this song that shall remain unnamed, it has like a real like a West African drum, like a dude that listened to a lot of world music, but like doom gadung dum boom gadung dum doom
right.
badum doom.
Yeah.
That thing, like the beat doesn't go doom bop, it goes gadung doom boom dadum. There's like a thing that does
Right.
that, which is really
Right.
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's like whatever that Peter Gabriel So record and the Paul Simon Graceland had it. They had that groove going on in there.
Is it Willow by any chance that you're talking about?
I can't name it. I don't have it
No.
in front of me, and I can't.
That's what's coming to my mind too, Sean.
Yeah.
It probably is. I mean, that was the only song
Yeah.
with that in it.
Yeah. It was. I think. Yeah, Paul Simon was definitely an influence on that one for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like that song started with like a boron sample, and then we kind of started talking about Rhythm of the Saints and things like that. So there's definitely that influence there for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. I should be a musicologist. or
Good ear,
something.
Johnny. Good ear.
Thanks, buddies. So, all right, let's go back. How did you guys form? Obviously, your family, but like,
Yeah. I don't. That's a great question, man. I don't know. I guess. Oh well, there was a high school band in high school that were just like it was from like the woods, man. Like we're from the middle of nowhere, and there was a high school band, and they were like writing their own stuff, and they had the greatest band names. They were called like Lunar and Roy G. Biv, and anyways, it was just a real eye-opening thing where you're like, oh, you can write your own music, and so we're like, well, but let's just get guitars and basses and drums and let's do it. But music was always something that, like in our family, like at get-togethers, our aunts would end up in like a sing-along and stuff. And
what like when you say it's a sing-along, what are they singing?
a lot of country ones.
John Prine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
John
cool.
Prine was a big one. Yeah. John Prine were like rose-colored glasses, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. big
Wildwood
time.
Flower, Carter Family.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so
Yeah,
basically like traditional kind of folk music. More traditional
Yeah.
than what you guys are doing. So you guys came up with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Living
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere, how did you find music stuff? Like what you saw a band playing their own original music, and that made you want to learn instruments?
Pretty much, yeah. Definitely, like, I think like a band like Nirvana also, like, you know, where you see like these guys who, like Kurt Cobain wasn't the most amazing guitar player, and it's kind of inspires you to pick up one yourself and try and cobble something together.
Right. It's not like David Bowie where you're like, I can never have one eye that's one color and the other. Like this guy, you know what I mean? Like this guy was made in the Rockstar factory. What do the rest of us do?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He's a city guy. Yeah, it was definitely hard for us. I think, you know, when, you know, file sharing became a thing, that was a big thing for us to definitely open up our eyes to bands like Wilco. Like I remember Yankee Hotel Foxtrot was a big one for us in high school when that came out.
Right. And there's a band that's an Americana band, but has a way of executing their stuff that is completely different than
definitely
really
a big influence for us. Yeah. Like we love how they started out as like you know, pretty much a country bar band, you know, I mean, an all country bar band, and they kind of evolved in their own thing. That's a big inspiration for us for sure.
Do you guys have any plans to come down for South by? Did you guys submit for it?
We're not coming down this year. No, we'd like to definitely at some point, but yeah, we're not making it down this year, unfortunately.
Is it hard to get out and like you guys play shows out places?
Yeah, definitely. It's lost in Canada. Like right across Canada, we've been mostly touring.
All of Canada? Yeah. How's it going?
Yeah. Good so far. Like the response has been great. COVID definitely threw a wrench into our plans for sure. So set us back. So we're going to try and, you know, claw back our way and see what happens.
Who's this guy, Joshua Van Tassel?
Oh, Josh is he produced our upcoming record. He's a drummer by trade, and he does a lot of production work in Canada. He does his own like instrumental like dance music as well.
Oh, cool!
So he definitely brought another flavor to our stuff. Yeah.
Wow, that's a really that doesn't sound like something that would jive with you guys, but the record sounds great. Like, what did he bring? Like as far as like. As a producer, there's always different kinds of, there's guys that put their hands in your songs and rewrite shit, or there's people that just kind of guide you. And then there's people that don't really play instruments that are just like, oh, that doesn't vibe. They're all valid in my like,
absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
What kind of producer was he with you guys? What did you guys need and what did he provide?
I think John, like, we wanted to like expand our sound and get a little bit weird. You know, we've only self-produced really in the past, and you know, you can only take that so far. So like bringing in someone who would bring in, you know, an influence where he's, you know, experimenting sound, and he's also a drummer. So he brought this, you know, whole other rhythmic element to the mix. In terms of like the songwriting, like we definitely do that in-house.
You guys are great. You guys have a really great, like, you guys are a great songwriter together.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I love go ahead.
One other thing that Josh really pushed that was cool was a live off the floor approach.
Oh,
which was,
especially with you guys, you should, it's kind of disingenuous to do that for you, you know?
Yeah.
Totally.
It was cool. I think it was a great idea. I think it captured the energy of the band. It was good.
So you guys play really tightly together. Was there there was a click involved, or what was happening? Do you like freestyle off the floor or what?
A couple were definitely free time, but there was...
Yeah. We'd mostly start with a click and then just kind of see where it went. Yeah, like Josh would counter it in and he would kind of keep the beat. He'd be our timekeeper for it all.
I always think that's cool because there's an element of modern recording that has like records are safely made. You know what I mean? Like before, like you go listen to like a Frank Sinatra record or, you know, you guys record, like if this band can do it, they're doing it. And somebody's there, like the art of recording that was then capturing magic. And then now there's the magic element is kind of gone because you're carving out perfection as opposed to capturing the, like letting the thing happen and being like, oh, there it is.
Totally. That was one thing that Josh really pushed. He was like, I'm into like capturing moments. That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
Like, you could comb over the whole thing and be like, oh, I'm a little flat there or whatever.
Right.
Or like we jump in here, but it's just like, yeah, but that's what we did. So we captured it. This is the moment. This is the record.
Right. And those are the kind of things like you wait until the hair on your arm stands up and you're like, oh, that's the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can't Pro Tools and auto-tune something into giving you goosebumps.
Totally.
Like that can only come from human beings communicating in real time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed. You have to have some kind of chemistry in order to pull it off. And once you make a record where it's just all overdubs, you kind of lose that ability to show off what you're all about.
Yeah. I wonder if subliminally that's what connected me to your music was just that feeling of like, oh, I feel like I'm there with these guys right now experiencing this as it's happening.
Nice. That's great, man. Great to hear, man.
Be funny if I told you I'm just always on acid too, but I'm not. No, man, I was just walking through my kitchen. I'm like, I'm with them. Villages are inside of me. So what, like, how much do you guys rehearse? You must rehearse a lot to get that tight and that together, or is that?
I wish we did it more. We usually
I guess, those kind of things are like, I work with this nonprofit here called the Austin Music Foundation in this thing called an artist development program. And we go out and we find 5 to 7 bands every year, and we put them through like 6 months of boot camp, like learning, have a music lawyer come in and meet with them, have song placement people, publishers, social media experts or whatever. And then it ends with us going in and recording, 2 songs in 2 days. And,
that's very cool.
And, it's a cool thing to do. But one thing that I noticed in a lot of bands coming up are different. I'm 54 and I've been in bands since I was 14 years old, like playing shows and living in a van, just doing the thing. And I noticed that one thing is that kids nowadays, and you guys are kids, obviously, in some form, that there's not like a I'm Travis from Villages. I'm like, oh, I'm Travis. I'm in Villages, but then I'm playing this other band, the Stevenson Jones Rock Experience, and then the psychedelic, pants patches guy. And then like there's no thing. So it's just, it feels like this, like Villages is this band's only, like that's what you guys do.
Yeah.
There's not a lot.
Yeah, it's like it's definitely, it's like I don't really have any desire to make music with anybody else, really. Like I only know making music with these guys, and I've been doing it since I was 13 years old, and I don't really. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but it's it's like I think it's just like the camaraderie of it all, and it's just a special thing that we have for sure. And we like in bands like REM and like U2, where they're like everything is split equally. Like we're not like a band where it's like some guy wants 75% of the writing credits on something. It's like everybody brings what they can bring, and we split it all up evenly.
It's sad you said those 2 bands, because those are like, I mean, even the Rolling Stones, it's just 2 guys from the thing, really.
Yeah. There's not many. There's really not many.
Yeah.
No, but U2 is one of those bands. I don't know if you guys remember, but whenever Beautiful Day came out, they were back in U2 form, doing shit people wanted to hear. Delay on guitar, Bono's soaring vocals.
Exactly.
And there was a speech, and I remember feeling really emotional during that speech that I hadn't done what I really wanted to do, which was when I get to be like 40 years old and I'm on my comeback thing, that you're with these guys that you knew since before you had hair on your balls. You know what I mean? Like you're like with these guys that you've been through life with, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a really magical
we
thing.
feel that. It really is, man. It's like, yeah, we definitely romanticize the idea of the band. It's like something you don't really see these days. And we still believe in it.
What also takes a lot of work to keep those, because it's like, you know, for those of you that are listening, you've heard probably this metaphor a lot of times, but it's like being fucking married to 4 dudes or 5 dudes or however many people are in your band.
Big time.
You try that. You have a harem. See how easy it is.
It's amazing that we're still as tight as we are. Like a band, like a tour is still a blast. Like we just carry on in the band nonstop, just like we were when we were 20 or whatever.
That's great.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
So do you have your own van?
We rent.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Yeah. It's a tough time to be a van renter.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's really expensive. How do you guys? Do you guys have a booking agent or a manager or something? Is someone in charge of your business?
We have a booking agent and a record label who really helps us out, but we're self-managed.
Okay. It seems like you guys seem to be level-headed. You know what you can keep it together. There doesn't have to be some guy intervening a lot.
Yeah.
So would you have a different booking agent in America, or is that?
Would like to definitely do that. Yeah. Like our booking agent is Canadian focused. So we'd definitely like to get an American booking agent to start, breaking our way down there.
Have you guys been to Europe?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I think we're going in May.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, just to do some festivals there, yeah.
Great. Do you guys, I saw you guys play some festivals up there too, right? In Canada?
Up in Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been hitting some pretty good festivals up here for sure.
You know what I learned recently about Canada and the way that they do their thing? There's like some kind of government thing that a certain percentage of music that's played on the radio needs to be Canadian or has to be Canadian. Am I right?
Canadian content. We call it CanCon up here.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of it's a commercial radio thing where they, like you said, the percentage has to be Canadian. That's more of like a commercial radio thing, which we haven't been lucky enough to hit yet, but.
What kind of is there radio up there that plays like here? We have college radio here and like independent radio stations. Is that happening in Canada at all?
Yeah, it's not as good as it used to be, and I don't think it's as strong as it is in the States. Like we have some college radio for sure, but not like specialty channels, especially on the East Coast of Canada. It's pretty grim. So that's a tough part.
How cold does it get up there where you are? Like 0?
Pretty. Oh. It'll feel like minus 30 some days, like on a really cold day in the winter. So I in terms of what you would call that, probably be like 0, I'm guessing. Probably below 0.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We've already had snow actually this year, so it's happening. Winter is coming.
Yeah. It's not just a show on HBO. What was the name of that show?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you guys into wizard stuff? Like sometimes that Celtic folk music gets into the wizard areas.
I am reading a book about how the occult changed rock and roll. So
that's cool. What are you learning in there?
Just Zeppelin's like massive influence, from the occult, and Bowie, and it's interesting.
All those guys.
Our next chat, I'll be wearing a big wizard hat. I'll be fully immersed.
You guys seem way too nice to be like a devil worshipping folk rock band. You know what I
meet him so we can tell him to chill. We'll get him calm.
Yeah.
Calm him down.
You know what I heard at the when I very first put your stuff on, and then I saw it in your in your bio is Belle and Sebastian.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah. Cool.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, they're a big influence on us.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan, and also Teenage Fan Club. I didn't hear that as much, but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's what it's probably in the more like the tightness of the songwriting, like the concise. You know, it's like we love the pop structure. I guess we're not really into. We make folk music, but it's definitely more of like the arrangements are definitely pop influenced.
That's a good thing to bring up because that is true. And my sort of response to music happens from my Beatle place. Like I respond to melody and melody. Like I respond to melody. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah, us too. Yeah.
And I feel
definitely
you know,
that's one thing about traditional folk music that you guys are veering from. Because to me, there's very little accessible melody that gives you chills in folk music so much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're definitely coming at it from, like you said, like the melodic pop influence for sure. That's always, if you don't have the melody, you don't have anything really. So,
yeah. Is there anything you guys are listening to now that's sort of striking your fancy?
What am I listening to?
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up my iTunes right now.
You know what? I need to start telling people this because whenever I ask it just off the cuff in a thing, it always people are like, "Oh, what am I listening to?" And you're like, "Oh, you don't have to." You know.
I personally just recently started dipping into King Crimson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Boy, that's jumping into a boiling pot of something.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. They do not scratch my Beatle itch, that band.
Yeah. I feel it because it's very, I know what you mean, like, because it's being akin to you with like melody first. It's not that, but I'm super interested. I'm super interested in like the song structure and the time signatures, which I do find it's almost like sometimes if there's genres of metal that really reflect or that really kind of seem like Celtic and trad time signatures to me. Like there's just very,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So I get a little bit of that with King Crimson, and it's all like, you know, it's interesting. It scratches an itch for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the? Oh no, that was a different band. Sorry, that was who was the band that had Trout Mask Replica?
Oh yeah.
Captain Beefheart.
Captain Beefheart. Yeah, I just had the guy that shot that album cover.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Dude, that was a real fucking fish,
amazing.
And this guy was sticking his head in a fucking stinky dead fish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Oh my god, that's insane! Wow,
Insane. Yeah, it might still be up on my feed. The dude's name is Ed Cariff. He shot so much stuff it'll blow your mind. Like he shot the straight on the Jimi Hendrix at Monterey with the guitar on fire where he's doing the finger thing.
Oh wow!
But the one that's in front,
that's
not the
incredible.
side one. He's the one that shot it straight on. Yeah, the one that was on the cover of Rolling Stone. Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Crazy, right?
Amazing. I have to check
There it is. Yeah.
Trout Mask Replica again. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was asking him about that thing, I'm like, so what? How did you? Like, they didn't, you know, that they weren't using Photoshop in those days. That was a guy
exactly.
sticking his head into a fish. No, so did I. I was wondering. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, is Prague? I mean, Rush is from Canada. You guys like Rush? Triumph? No Triumph?
Yeah, that never really got into Rush. I watched the Triumph documentary. That was entertaining, but I haven't really listened to it.
Yeah.
Triumph happened here pretty heavily. I mean, like, they played like the US Festival and stuff, but they
were the massive.
yeah, they were massive in America.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah,
Very
I haven't
cool.
seen the documentary yet, but I bought two like Allied Forces and some other album that were popular then.
Okay.
Like the Young, Wild, and Free music.
Nice. Nice.
What about Saga? You guys-
Saga.
You know who Saga is?
No.
Man, that's not even in Canada. They're even Canadian.
Fill us in.
Really?
Yeah. They had a song called
Another prog
Tonight I'm
band?
on the Loose.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does.
That sounds familiar. Yeah. That sounds like a CanCon hit.
It had to have been. Can I sing?
Yeah,
Can I sing a
I
little
think-
bit of it for you?
Please, yeah.
Absolutely.
No one can stop us now. Tonight we're on the loose. Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Nice.
Very
Yeah.
dramatic. Like,
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
The way you hit
sounds
that
very,
loop sounds
very
like,
Canadian.
yeah, I was like, oh, I've heard that.
right singer to singer.
Yeah, that's-
Matt and Johnny bonding.
Canadian to the core.
Yeah.
What? Can I ask you guys a question about, like, I live in America and we have a craziness just like going. It's just crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the Kanye West even now.
Mm,
Yeah,
insane.
unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like pedal to the metal crazy. He used to be like, I can't drive 55 crazy, but now he's like the speed of light crazy.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
What does that look like to you guys? So you guys go like, Jesus, build a wall.
I mean,
Like,
it's like we had. Yeah. I think it was. I think it was probably worse when Trump was in office, but it's still. I mean, I feel like the whole world is. There's this whole extreme right thing happening everywhere. It's we're not immune to it in Canada. That's for sure. We have our own issues for sure. But yeah.
Do those things make their way into your music at all?
Politics?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No.
There's another way you're not, like, traditional folk a lot of times is like trying to tell you what the man's trying to do to you.
Yeah. It's like maybe someday we'll venture into that, but we kind of keep politics out of the jam space.
I don't do it. I don't do it because I feel like I sound really funny. Like, I don't, like, I'm not Bono when I'm talking about it.
Exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like if
Well,
Def
a certain
Leppard
kind of
tried to
person
get
can pull it off.
political, that's what I like, just the wrong band getting political. Or Duran
Exactly.
has something very fucking social.
exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys? So what else? Like, what do you guys have planned for this record coming out? What are you guys gonna do in February? What's the jam?
Play some shows, man. Play as many shows as we can. I think it's still like COVID's really wreaked havoc on the touring industry in terms of, everybody made albums during COVID, so they're all coming out now, and the big cats are eating first for sure. So it's like it's hard for a little band like us to even to play our own country. It's hard, to get a gig, because all the clubs are booked up. But we're just going to be playing as much as we possibly can. Play Canada and then hitting Europe in May, and we'll see where it goes.
Do you guys get like, hey, we're gonna get together Wednesday and write a song? Or do you guys get together and someone's like, hey, I got an idea?
Yeah, like we kind of like send around demos a lot to each other now, and just people add certain things to them and pass them around that way. Then we'll get into the jam space and hash them out live.
Do you have a space just dedicated for that?
Yep.
And that's basement.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Oh, yeah, because you guys have basements. We don't have basements in Texas.
Exactly. Oh, damn.
That's
right.
something that happens in the North and the Midwest and the Northeast. But like
Right.
in Texas and Oklahoma and shit, we don't have basements.
Not your thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well,
Just never caught on.
man, I wish I had a good. I think we have enough space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
There's
mean,
there's a lot of magic in the basement, little man.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in some
You
basements.
think of like how hot it is. It'd be so much cooler in a basement, especially like if you're in Texas.
Yeah. Well, I know that in the South
be
near
nice.
the coast, which we're not near, there's just not a lot of room before you hit water. Like the reason why all
Right.
of the graves and and caskets are above ground in New Orleans is because you can't. There's not enough. There's no 6 feet below them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Matt and I went to New Orleans for a little vacation a while ago, and we were kind of surprised to see all of that for sure.
Yeah. Is it hard to travel in between, like going from Canada? Because I know for Americans, it's pretty difficult to get. Like they really shake you down to get into Canada. Is it difficult to tour in between the two countries?
Definitely, and it costs a lot of money for a band to get a visa to travel down there. Oh yeah, like at least like 6,000 Canadian for us to approve to get approved to get a visa and travel down there.
Okay. Wow, that's a drag. I can't remember the guy's name, but I talked to a guy that was doing concerts during 2020. He started doing like people's like farms and in big yards or something. Do you know who I'm talking about? He was pretty popular. I can't remember his name.
Oh, B.A. Johnston?
No. That's close. But something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys try and do any of that? Like sort of create your own spaces?
Not really. No, we've kind of sticking to the theaters and clubs kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like where we're at is just kind of like, it's very rural. So it's like, it's difficult to bring a crowd for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, man, this has been really great talking to you guys. I really love your music, and you have music out already. I didn't write down the name of the single. What's the single that's out now, or that's coming out?
Single.
We have a single called. The first single from the upcoming record is called "Love Will Live On."
Yes. What is that about?
It's just about like the pursuit of a simple life,
Yeah.
Kill the noise.
There's a lot of that in this record. There's a lot of like.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
A lot of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate like the COVID narrative, but I guess it is unavoidable at some point. There's a lot of it. We wrote a lot of it during, I guess, because we recorded it in 2021.
Yeah.
Late 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we wrote a lot of it during a pretty, devastating time. And it was just like that. There was a longing for this life that wasn't being currently lived.
Right.
And it was a lot of just kind of longing for our island, really, for Cape Breton, and just to be back where we belong.
Yeah. Was it? I mean, I know some places here that were kind of rural. People were okay, like they might have had a couple of cases, but that people weren't really traveling and people weren't going to these small. Like I don't know if you know. Have you ever heard of Marfa?
Oh yeah.
I think they only had like 3 people that had it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow.
And it's a little more desolate. It's out away from other places. People are separated,
right.
And it never really got there.
It worked.
Wow.
Yeah. There was like in Canada, especially, there was a lot of people migrating to our part of the country, like from the center of the country. They were all coming to the East Coast, and so it was definitely kind of like a crazy experience in terms of like housing, and there's just a major housing crisis going on right now because of this massive inflow of people into our little area.
Well, I hope they don't take away your land, man, because you guys deserve to keep it. Matt and Travis, this has been really great talking to you guys. Please stay in touch, because if you guys ever come down for like South by, I'd love to meet in person and do this here at the place. I've got guitars. We can sit around and play.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
I can teach you the Saga catalog.
I was going to say
I don't know one of their songs.
I was gonna bring back Saga. Nice.
Thanks a lot, Johnny. That was a lot of fun.
Johnny.
Yeah, man,
great.
it was great. I'll let you guys know when this comes out. It'll be actually have a date, but yeah, great talking to you guys. I'll let you know all about that in a second.
Definitely. Thanks, man.
host Matt and Travis Ellis from the Canadian folk band Villages. Their album Dark Island drops February 17th. Go to thebandvillages.com for all of your Villages needs. What a great conversation. Those dudes are really sweet. And I love this song, Love Will Live On. Are you enjoying it? You'll hear the rest of it after I stop talking. Listen, gang, while you're out there checking out thebandvillages.com, don't forget that you can subscribe to this podcast wherever it is you find podcasts, be it Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Overcast, Stitcher. New shows every Tuesday, every Friday from the Vault series coming out all the time. Get in there, get involved. Do it, do it, do it. Do it, do it. Sorry. I hope you guys have a great weekend, whatever it is you do this weekend. Here's the rest of the song, Love Will Live On, by the band Villages from their upcoming album, Dark Island, out February 17th. Have a great weekend, whatever it is you do in the weekend. Let's get down.
The end of the light instead, and you said, oh, you and I will find a piece of land, we'll find peace of mind, we'll make love in the fields of heather wild, and build a quiet life on an island in the Maritimes. We'll be happy when the winds blow strong, and our love will live on. La, 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 la. It's next month now, still in the fog somehow. It's the best that we ever had now. To hell with your mom and dad now. This is just the way it is now. I push you under the light instead and reminded you that, oh, you and I will find a piece of land, we'll find a peace of mind, and we'll make love in the fields of heather wild, and build a quiet life on an island in the Maritimes. We'll be happy when the winds blow strong, and our love will live on.